Hello children, in this video we are going to see the fifth part of the lesson in the Kingdom of Fools. Earlier we have seen that the blacksmith told that he is not the reason for the murder, rather the merchant who pressurized him to deliver the wedding order was a real culprit. Now let us see what the king decides. The goldsmith named the merchant, and he was none other than the original owner of the house whose wall had fallen. Now justice had come full circle. Thought the king back to the merchant when he was rudely summoned back to the court. He arrived crying, it wasn't me, but my father who ordered the jewelry. He had died. I'm innocent. But the king consulted his minister and ruled decisively. Decisively means effectively. It's true, your father is the true murderer. He's dead, but somebody must be punished in his place. You have inherited everything from that criminal father of yours, his riches as well as his sins. I knew at once, even when I first set eyes on you, that you were at the root of this horrible crime. You must die. Now, after the merchant has said that, after the goldsmith had said that it is the merchant, the king ordered the merchant son to be brought to the court, since the merchant had died already, and now the merchant had come to the court crying that it was not my mistake, it is the mistake of my father. Now king got confused because his father is the one who pressurized the merchant. Now he need to consult with his minister. After consulting with his minister, the king has stated that since this merchant has inherited everything from his father, his property, it is his responsibility to inherit the sins of his fathers too. So, for the wrongdoing of your father, you must be punished. That was the decree said by the king. And he had ordered a new stake. Underline the word stake and write down wooden post to which people are tied for execution. Wooden post to which people are tied for execution. That is called a stake, on which people used to place people and kill. And he ordered a new stake to be made ready for the execution. As the servant sharpened the stake and got it ready for the final impaling. Underline the word impaling. Impaling means pierce with sharp instrument, or in this case it is piercing with the stake. A body of the a victim has to be pierced with this stake. Impaling means piercing with sharp instrument or object. Impaling of the criminal. It occurred into the minister that the rich merchant was somehow too thin to be properly executed on the stake. He appealed to the king's common sense. The king too worried about it. Now they got a final problem. After finding the real culprit of the victim, the king ordered a stake on which this culprit need to be executed. Now the stake got ready, and the minister found that the merchant is too thin to be executed on the stake. He doesn't fit in the stake. So he conveyed the same to the king. Now the king got confused and he got worried. They have set everything ready, and now finally they can't do the execution because the merchant is too thin to be executed on the stake. Now let us see what the king decides next. What shall we do? He said, when suddenly it struck him that all they needed to do was to find a man fat enough to fit the stake. The servants were immediately sent all over the town looking for a man who would fit the stake, and their eyes fallen on the disciple who had fattened himself for months on bananas and rice and wheat and ghee. And finally, what the king concluded? King concluded that a fat man needs to be executed in the stake, not this thin merchant. So he sent his servants to search a fat person in the city. So everyone go and started searching for a fat man in the city, and finally they found the fat person. The fat person is none other than the disciple who started eating, whose greediness have paid him now. Since he is so big, they bought this fat disciple to the king's court. In the next part, we'll see what happened to the fat disciple, whether he was executed or not. And here are the four new words which we have seen in this part. First is summoned, decisively, stake, and impaling. These are the four new words which we have seen. Now let us see the meaning of those words. Here are the meaning of those words. Summoned means ordered, decisively means effectively, stake, a wooden post to which the people are tied for execution, and impaling, the meaning is pierce with sharp instrument. And your homework is you need to frame sentences with this words. With this part ends.